Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here recording episode 198, and today we're going to be talking about some dirty words, some curse words, some cuss words, some vulgar phrases in the English language. So if your kids are around, put on some headphones or listen to this episode at another time, because we are going to be getting into some dirty words, and we are going to be using that explicit rating on our podcast to its full potential today. So stay tuned. You may be wondering, why are we doing this episode? Number one, to teach all of you who don't know some of these dirty words what they are, so hopefully you don't use them. Or if you do use them, you know how to use them properly. Don't want to insult somebody and use the words incorrectly. We're also going to teach you a couple cleaner words to use today as well, if you want to keep things a little more PG or PG-13. Jared's giving me a look, but I got a couple alternatives for us today. And we're also going to talk about the etymology of some of these dirty words as well. So if you're a language nerd and you want to know where some of these words came from, stay tuned. So my partner in crime, my man who has a great command of all sorts of dirty words, but does not usually say them because he's a classy gentleman. Without further ado, my buddy Jared. What's going on, Jared?
Well, hello. A classy sophisticant like me would never use such words. Shout out to SpongeBob, a clip we just watched before. I cannot take credit for that. Episode 198, and I'm feeling like shit. Oh, great. Excuse me. It's still inside. And, well, let me just please. We don't need to hear about my problems.
Spread a little love.
Spread a little love, everyone. Follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, subscribe, I should say, not follow us. Follow us on Instagram, though, Untranslatable Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. And you can also give us 5-star reviews, please. I mean, you can, but I should say please give us 5-star reviews.
Пожалуйста.
We would greatly appreciate it. And then when you do give them, we will say...
Спасибо.
So this is how I do that drop.
Спасибо.
Nice.
Good work. Good work, buddy.
I just... say it myself.
You gotta improvise sometimes, you know? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Chad, let me ask you this. How's your mental health during this quarantine? I feel like there are two settings on you, and it's positive or trying to be positive, and it gets old. I'm not going to lie. We don't need all this positivity in our life. No one asked for that. I feel like I'm starting to become a difficult person to be around. I feel like I'm starting to become less enjoyable to be around, you know? Like I'm kind of sulking more for no reason. There's no, like, what are you like around the house? Are you tough to be around? Besides for usual, I guess.
I think I'm okay. I've been trying to help my parents out a lot with stuff around the house. Help my mom move some flowers and other plants earlier today.
Do you find yourself like going crazy in your head? Do you find yourself being like, F it, or fuck it? This is the bad words episode.
This is a bad words episode. Go crazy, Jared.
Hang out with Jared. I don't care.
I don't know. There have been days when I definitely feel like, man, I really wish I could see my friends or have the opportunity to travel right now. You know, there's a lot of stuff, but I think in the grand scheme of things, we just gotta play it safe, play it smart, and I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm trying to really be optimistic. I know it drives Jared crazy, but I kind of have to, though, you know, because it's like right now, I only have a couple students that I'm tutoring right now, so that doesn't really take up that much of my time, right? I do the podcast with you. But
that doesn't take up too much of your time.
Nope, it doesn't.
Trust me, I know.
It doesn't. So for me, it's been a lot of guitar playing, a lot of PlayStation playing as well. Halfway through Red Dead Redemption, that's been a fun little journey. Getting my cowboy on.
Yeah.
I'm excited though, man. As the weather gets warmer and nicer out, I've been spending a lot of time on the deck with the dog. You know, getting some vitamin D, as they say in England. Getting that sunshine is important. But I'll tell you what, Jared. The big thing, this would be a really good segue for the song of the pod, but I'm going to say it now anyways. I think music is what's really been helping me out a lot with everything going on. Every day, I listen to easily over 2-3 hours of music.
Yeah. See, I listen to podcasts as I don't know if it's soothing, but there's nothing.
I think it's soothing.
It feels like a soothing kind of thing that I do because I listen to them all day. Like it's clearly some sort of something I'm doing other than just enjoying the entertainment. But like it's not as soothing like it's a soothing thing clearly on a subconscious level, but on a conscious level, I'm not seeking out like a whole bunch of positivity and uplift in my podcasts, so it's not really like.
Well, that's because you do the Untranslatable podcast, which is easily 80% of uplifting and positivity. So that's probably why, Jared. Another thing I've been doing, though, lately that I mentioned a couple episodes ago is I put some new tuners on one of my guitars.
Okay.
So I've been I put these bad boys on here. So that has been a fun little adventure. It was super easy. Took me way less time than I thought it would. Took me about 20 minutes.
It's just a screw, isn't it? Or you have to glue them or something?
You got to unscrew them and then screw the new ones on and restring it. But these ones have a special mechanism to lock the string in, so you can restring it even faster. But for me, restringing guitars is really cathartic. Like it just, I don't know.
I remember when I remember when I had my we were talking about how I like used to fix my bike and stuff, and sometimes it would go terribly wrong. But other times it would go terribly great. It's a great confidence booster. And now you're like, I could do this now. Like this is something I'm no longer going to pay someone else to do. That feels great.
It's also very fulfilling to know and understand the process of how something works.
Yes.
Like a machine on your bike or on my guitar. Yeah, I totally feel you, for sure.
Yeah, like a neck bone's connected to the hip bone kind of thing.
Right.
Clearly,
head, shoulders, knees, and toes kind of thing.
Well,
for sure. Right. Well, Jared, I wanted to bring up something at the top of the show today before we get into other stuff, because I came across this article, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It's a Forbes article, and let me read you the headline here. Future air travel. 4-hour process, self-check-in, disinfection, immunity passes. I don't know if you've heard of this, Jared.
I can do that in 2.5.
You could probably do that on an hour flat.
I can already tell you
could do it.
It doesn't need to be 4 hours. I don't.
Right.
I'll listen, obviously, but it doesn't need to be 4 hours.
So yeah, but this is just kind of interesting, just to think about. You know, we do the whole thing about what we're going through right now is we do need to think about what's going to happen afterwards, because at some point there will be an afterwards. We don't know when. Have to give a lot of respect, and I have a lot of admiration for a lot of people working right now and trying to make things better. But this is interesting. So one of the questions that the Forbes article asks is, will there be as many changes as there were after 9/11? Could there be less? Could there be more? I thought that was kind of interesting, because obviously these are two very different reasons why we are changing the entire process, right? 9/11 was obviously counterterrorism, so you can't have a bottle with over, I don't know how many ounces of liquid, because it could be a bomb, for example, right? Well, now we might be seeing, temperature checks. You might have to have like a special thing on your phone or a special ID document saying either, you've had coronavirus and now you are healthy, or you've gotten a vaccine once that becomes available for people. So there's a lot of different things that could be going on, and I wanted to read some of these to you, Jared, and just kind of get your thoughts.
Okay, sure.
So, and some of these I think are good. Some of these I'm not so sure how people will feel about these. But okay, this one's an interesting one. So here are some things that are being under consideration right now by a lot of the major airline companies, like British Airways, companies like this. So here we go. No cabin bags, no lounges, no automatic upgrades, face masks required.
Why are you going so fast? Hold on.
Okay, Sorry.
Why are you going
no
so
cabin
fast?
bags. Sorry, no cabin bags. Yeah, go for it.
The problem with... I already have a problem with the no cabin bag thing.
Me
because, they've already set up the situation. They've already set up this sort of paradigm where they're forced to pack the cabin with suitcases because everyone charges for carry-on. For checking, and nobody. It's not only does people already don't want to check their bags because it's another step once you already get to your location. Right. Now they're even less incentivized because you have to pay them to do it.
And are you going to check your laptop? Really? I'm not going to check my valuables. Like, no.
Exactly. Yeah. What? I'm going to let you check my. I've seen and I know how those baggage people handle stuff. So what? Now my laptop is just going to be thrown into the back of a van and thrown on and off an airplane.
Exactly.
So that one already seems like that's so. Now I would bet though, if they're going to do that, they're going to have some sort of concession to payments, or at least just do us a favor and mix it in with the price already so we don't see it.
Right. Right. The other thing, though, too, that I've been reading that some places have been considering is like a disinfectant type of tube or tunnel or something where you would put your carry-on, would spray it, and then you would pick it up. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think that's a decent idea.
Yeah, I guess I'd be curious what they're spraying it with. I mean, I assume I'm not going to take it out and it's going to be like dripping with sanitizer.
Right. Well, I've seen at least pictures of places in Asia that are like, I don't know if they call them sanitation stations, what they call them, disinfectant stations probably, but where you stand on a thing, you wear goggles and a surgical covering like a mask, and then it sprays the disinfectant on you. And supposedly, if you had any virus or stuff on you, it would kill it.
Well, you saw that, I don't know if you've seen this, but there was going around on Twitter that in China they're starting to go back to school. It was China?
Yep.
I believe it was China. And they have like this whole protocol just for going in to the school. And one of them is you get sprayed front and back with some machine. It looks like some sort of
fog
smoke or something.
mist. Yeah.
Right, but it's probably some sort of misty... Right. There's also infrared cleaners for like your phone. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, and I've seen the UV ones as well.
Yeah, you could probably make. Oh, that is what it is, not infrared.
Yeah, UV.
You could probably make like a bigger. I have no idea. I wonder if you can make like a bigger version.
I've heard UV disinfection may become the way they do it. Now, I don't know how that works, though. I don't know if you can stand under something, if like a certain amount of UV light. I don't know if it's healthy for you. I know if you get sunburned, you can get skin cancer. I really don't know.
Right.
But it's an interesting thing to look into.
How much cancer are we getting from those machines that spin
sprays
around
and stuff?
us?
That's true.
That too. Yeah. I mean, things we already have.
But yeah. So no cabin bags. I thought that one was interesting.
What else?
No lounges, which for now I get. I get why you wouldn't want to offer lounges.
I'm broke. I'm not broke. That's not true. I'm not rich. And I'm not a frequent flyer. So the lack of lounges makes no difference to me.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with you there. What are your thoughts on face masks and surgical gloves?
I mean, the masks make sense, but I mean, how in the future are we talking? Because it makes sense now.
I think probably until we get a vaccine. Although I'll be honest with you, Jared, I really the idea of wearing a face mask in public for the next while doesn't really bother me. To be honest with you, like when you're in public places rather. I know it's not ideal, but. It keeps not only yourself safe, but others safe if you are sick as well.
And it adds peace of mind for me, too. I actually, I've lived this entire quarantine, I have not been in a public place. And so I've not been in a place that required me to wear a mask. Except for today. Today is the first day of this entire pandemic that I had to wear a mask in public.
Oh, wow.
And
where'd you go?
I had to, on my car, I have like winter tires on them, and I just haven't moved them over yet because I haven't needed to drive anywhere.
Right.
But I need to take my car to get serviced, and it was just since I was already going, it's a long story, but it's essentially I just had to go get my tires switched on my car. But luckily there weren't that many people there, so like there was almost no one around me, so it wasn't like an anxiety-inducing thing.
Do you have a mask?
Yeah, I have a couple different. I have two different kinds.
Good.
So I have and the reason I brought this up is because the one I wore, I have one that I like because it's a fabric one and it's just easier. It's easier to put on.
Sure.
But the thing is, having the fabric right on my face for an extended period of time is not the most comfortable.
It's not ideal, for sure.
And it definitely stifles my ability to breathe a little bit.
You have to get used to it. Trust me, as someone who wore a mask in China a lot,
true.
you got to get used to it.
Moves around a little bit. You got to get used to like finding the spot and keeping the spot. But then I have another one that's a little more hefty. It has like it's reusable, it's washable, but it looks more like a surgical mask kind of thing.
Right.
And that one fits like it leaves a little gap between your face and the actual face mask, so it's not right up against your face. It has like a little clamp.
That's what
in
you
the
need,
nose area, so it tightens around.
Yep.
And so that one I should have used because it's more comfortable, but it's a little bit more effort to put it on.
Right.
So I'm lazy, clearly.
Yeah.
But
I'm okay with the masks.
I'm fine
I think
with it.
surgical
Makes me
gloves,
feel better.
Right. I think surgical gloves are a little unnecessary. That's just my own personal opinion.
I'm with you on that.
These are a few I like. Self check-in and self bag drop-off. I think that's fine. I've done the self bag drop-off a few times flying with Lufthansa.
I don't know about the self bag drop off. I mean, I haven't checked in at a gate in forever.
Well, it's. I mean, you essentially go to a kiosk. If you have a code, you show them your code. You put the thing on the thing, and it. I think it prints the label out, and you have to put the label on, and then it goes. But that's it.
So
but
you could easily do
so
that
much safer
without a person. You just scan your boarding pass. They give you the thing, and then you
that's
put
what
it on
looks like. A lot of places are looking to do is try to find a way where you're not even touching a touchscreen. There's a scan of something,
and the funny
which I
thing
think is smart.
They should have some of these innovations should have nothing to do with the pandemic. Like these are just good ideas.
True.
But companies are just cheap, and it's not really worth it for them to invest in it if it's not necessary.
Right.
What else?
Right.
I see why you were going so fast before now because
there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Once again, you're the only one that's ever in a rush when we do these
That's
podcasts.
True. That's true.
I have nowhere to be.
It's only certain days. It seems like the days when I have to teach a student later. But anyways, okay. So self bag drop off. I think we're both cool with. This one's an interesting one. Actually, these next few are interesting. Immunity passports, which I think we briefly mentioned. You know, the idea of you have something on your phone or like a slip signed by a doctor or something saying you've been vaccinated. They do that.
That's a little too much.
But they've done that with other stuff too, though. Like
feels
I know there's
1984-y, you know.
Yeah, but there's also like a thing for yellow fever. I think that some African countries require you to have before you go in. I could be wrong, but
I mean, that makes sense. You have to. I mean, do you have to get malaria shots before you go to like certain countries?
Is malaria contagious?
I think so.
I don't think it is. It?
Oh, I've definitely gotten malaria shots before I went to Tanzania.
Right.
But now I wonder, is it required
but you didn't
or is
have
it
to
just
show a paper?
No, that's why I'm thinking.
Right?
Is it required or is it just like you probably should do this if you
Because I remember before I went to China in August last year, they told me, well, here's this. You know, they gave me this paper, bunch of like a pamphlet, and it had my vaccinations all listed there. There were a couple of them like dengue fever and yellow fever. I haven't gotten vaccinated for because, I wasn't going to any countries that had that. But they said, keep this. And if you ever go to any of those countries, we can put this in here for you. And I guess some places do look for that. I think that is a good thing because it gives you and other people and the country of which you're traveling to peace of mind that, hey, this person is not going to be risk.
I get concerned because it's to me it feels like a pretty big barrier for some people to travel. Like now you're
true.
Like especially in a country like ours where our health system is so shitty.
Right. Yeah, it takes time, takes money. This one creeps me out a little bit, but it's just me personally. Maybe you'll agree with me on this one, Jared. On the spot blood tests. I don't know how I feel about that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
And how quick? Like how quick is that?
I'm not sure.
You can't. Can you test that immediately?
And I feel like if you're testing for COVID, I think there are other testing, even ways where you can get the results back fairly quickly that aren't blood. I could be wrong though. Maybe they are blood tests. I don't know.
You can do a blood test, but that's not. I don't think that's the main kind. The main kind they're doing is that swab that they stick like all the way in the back of your throat through your nose. That looks terribly painful.
Right.
But. That's not sustainable to me. I mean, obviously, there's the whole like squeamish thing. I theoretically I could get past that. Not at an airport. Why am I doing this at an airport? It just seems like this isn't sustainable. This isn't realistic. Like this is a pandemic. Also, like how long do you plan on doing this for? Forever? Are we doing this forever now?
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. It's interesting to think about and discuss how long will these effects stay in the collectives.
Because
like
the anti-terrorism stuff that we see at airports has only been enhanced, in my opinion, and it seems like it's only been enhanced with small. Like, you don't see much results from it.
Right. Yeah. What's also interesting too is the idea of temperature checks. Now, these kind of things don't really bother me, but my question is, what happens if you are deemed unfit to fly? How does that work? So say you go into the airport. They take your temperature, and you have a high temperature. And they say, sorry, we can't let you on the plane, sir. What do you do? Do they book you another flight? You probably have to pay that out of pocket.
Yeah,
How does that work?
That's got to be on you. That's probably got to be on you. But then also, so now that brings up another thing that I didn't think of. Are they going to do this before people even, like, is there going to be a line to get into the airport? You have to do all these, because that's going to be...
Right.
I mean, that 4 hours seems not enough.
Right.
If we're going to go through, like, all these steps, because then what if you figure out someone's got a fever, someone has COVID,
Right.
but they've already been in a packed airport, like, and they found out at the security checkpoint.
But see, that's the other difficulty is reopening with safe social distance guidelines where people who could get other people sick don't get other people sick in public.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing with the masks and these sanitation places. But yeah, it's really hard to say. And the scary thing about all this too, Jared, is seeing how impatient people are when you think about how new this virus really is. You know, we really started. I would say it really became on the U.S.'s radar. Probably, well, first of all,
Like
in my
late
opinion,
February?
way too late. But yeah, February. I was already back in the States, and things seemed fairly normal when I got back. And I can tell you, someone who was in China, things were not normal when I left. In Indonesia, things were fairly normal. You saw more people wearing face masks, but it seemed, well, that was my first time there, but it seemed normal, where I would consider normal.
I mean, I've been thinking about that a lot. It's like you lost your job due to COVID-19 in December.
No, February.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
February.
You were asked not to come back in December.
Correct.
So they were already putting in measures of like...
January, but yeah.
Okay, still, January. Sorry, it was December is when you went to Beijing.
I was probably one
That's
of
why I
the
was thrown
first
off.
people
Right.
to lose their job because of this pandemic.
And you lost your job months before people even here and probably in Europe even knew what it was.
Right.
And then I don't think it really hit people here until like the end of February.
Right. Well, the funny thing is too, Jared, is that I had known about pneumonia going around Wuhan in late November. We had heard about it in late November, early December, and then it just went completely uphill from there, or downhill, I guess. But yeah. But those are a few things that I think a lot of companies are going to try to put in place in the future with flying. But that's a great question, Jared. How will that work? Also, will people be allowed to? I would assume that means that people picking someone up from the airport have to wait outside as well. Or there might be like a designated arrival area.
That gate where you first leave the terminal, it's all the people with the signs up. Yep. That's just a
how's that going to work?
That's just a virus waiting to happen there.
Right.
It's like no, it's like, hey, I'll hold a sign out the side of my window at the pickup zone.
Right. So yeah, we'll see. But those are just some things to keep in mind what might happen with the future flying, because let's be honest, this pandemic has changed a lot of things, but eventually I think things are going to slowly ramp up. I won't say back to normal or before the pandemic began, but people are going to start flying. I mean, it's going to become a necessity at some point. Countries can't stay locked down forever.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about like once this is over, it's like but I don't think it's just gonna be like it's not gonna just be one day.
It's not like we're gonna wake up one day and it's like, yay, we beat COVID, it's done. That's not how that works.
All right, we're done, back to normal.
Right.
At my job, they've been calling it the new abnormal. For a bit, they were calling it the new normal, but they're like, well, it's not gonna go back to quote unquote normal. It's the new abnormal.
Right. Well, it's like that with any. I do too. It's like that with any big event. I would say that 9/11 changed our lives to a new abnormal, so I would agree with that.
For sure.
But Jared, with new abnormals, sometimes there are some good things, and I think if we can talk about our shout outs today, I'll give one shout out today. And my shout out for today goes out to the Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. I don't know if you've heard about this, Jared, but he has told his employees that many of them will be allowed to work from home in perpetuity, meaning permanently, regardless. And he said, and I quote, "Opening offices will be our decision. When and if our employees come back will be theirs." In an email, Dorsey said it was unlikely that Twitter would open its offices before September and that all in-person events would be canceled for the remainder of the year. all of 2020 in Twitter. The company will assess its plans for 2021 events later this year. And he also noted their privilege by saying, we were uniquely positioned to respond quickly and allow folks to work from home, given our emphasis on decentralization and supporting a distributed workforce capable of working from anywhere.
And they don't have a physical product. That helps too.
Right.
There's no production really or anything
absolutely.
like that.
But I think that's really great.
Yeah.
And I mean, so shout out to Jack Dorsey and everybody at Twitter. I think that's awesome.
You betcha. Yeah. I mean, we need. I think it would be huge to see some of these big companies, car companies, just consumer product companies,
right?
Come out and be like, we're no longer like we're gonna do what Jack Dorsey did at Twitter, and because so many of the it's kind of not surprising at a company like Twitter almost, because it's like, oh, they're a tech company, you know, they're very forward with innovations in the workplace. That's kind of what tech companies are known for. Right. I want to see companies not known for these kind of, you know, people innovations in the workforce make these innovations, and I think that would be huge to see companies that'd be like, wow, this old school company is actually doing this. Who would have thought?
Right.
Because I work for one of those old school companies, kind of, and we all have all the technology. We obviously not people that make the product, but people like me that just work on a computer. We could do that anywhere.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of jobs that will begin to be kind of reevaluated because of this. And I think working from home can be good.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Although
I don't think
would enjoy it more
perfect,
if I could.
But
I could enjoy it more if I could interact with people, because that's the problem.
Did we do an episode about pros and cons of working from home?
How have we not done that? No.
We should do one. Because I mean,
sure.
I have some good, exciting news about that too in the future. Got some exciting things coming up for this summer, so I think we should do an episode on that. We can talk about it.
I'm excited.
We can talk about it. Yeah, trust me, I was excited today too when I found out about it.
Great.
Anyways, you know what else makes me really excited, Jared?
Those untranslatables.
That's right, buddy. That's right. And today, I decided, because I had so much fun last week with the Finnish ones, I was going to continue. I have a few more Finnish ones for you, because I just thought these were great.
Okay.
So, my first one for you, as I said, is Finnish, and it is Rokea Rokansiyo, which means the brave eats the soup.
The brave.
I would assume the brave one eats the soup.
It's like the brave one takes the first step, being proactive and making the move before anyone else.
I'll give you the ham horn. I'll give it to you. Yeah,
it feels it feels like whoever's like brave enough to eat the hot soup is how I kind of took it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We would say though, Jared, fortune favors the brave. That's kind of the saying we generally use.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That phrase would not come to my head, only because that sounds like something that like my parents would say to me as a kid, and I'd roll my eyes at them.
Right.
So I didn't get normal untranslatables today. I got a long list of insults in other languages.
Great.
And this is something I've wanted to do before, but it just because a lot of them they're not really anything to like translate, because they're pretty obvious what they're saying, but I've always wanted to do it because it's so funny how people insult people in other countries.
Oh, absolutely. Let's hear some.
My first one is Mandarin, and it's let's see if you know what this means. Kao ni zu zong chi ba dai.
No idea.
Well, I guess I'll just fuck the 18 generations of your ancestors.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a burn right there. That would be a roast for sure.
I like that one. There's so many.
Who needs your mom jokes when you can roast 18 generations of ancestors, you know?
And there's something, I mean, obviously going for your mom is a huge thing in the U.S.
Right.
But I think outside of the U.S., in countries that demand more respect than us Americans do, I think there's really something to family-based insults.
Yeah. Parents,
I've seen a lot
ancestors
of them,
for sure.
I find a lot of them when I look up Arabic on translatables too, where there's a lot of like I'm cursing your great grandmother or something like that.
Right.
And to me, I'd be like, okay, I'd never met her. Okay.
All right. Well, Jared, let me give you my last Finnish one for you today. And then you can just hit me with a ton of these, because I want to hear some of them.
This is a dream come true.
And after that, I got something I want to do with you. But I'll stay tuned for that. Anyways, this next one, as I said, is Finnish, and it is Mika laulan tule se the helten mene, which means...
Something about hands. I heard hands in there.
Good guess, but no. What comes singing leaves whistling. What comes singing leaves whistling.
What comes singing...
Leaves whistling.
That, first of all, that sounds super Southern.
That's right. What comes singing leaves whistling, boy. That's right.
Yeah, slipping on gator piss. It's like I have no idea where to go with this. It's like,
well, you know, Jared, you won that $1 million when you found that real old car back in that old pole barn down the street in the corner. And you know, sometimes what comes singing leaves whistling. You know.
It's like one man's junk is another man's treasure.
No, not quite. Let me try to.
Or it's like you got super lucky and found like a essentially a treasure of some sort. I don't know.
No, okay.
I love
Here.
Let
me continue. Okay. Let me continue. All right. I kind of like doing the Southern accent. All right. All right, Jared. You done got $1 million from finding that real old car in that pole barn. But, you know, you done spent that $1 million real quick, you know? So when you come in singing, you might leave whistling.
Okay. So it's like, not what goes around comes around, but it's like...
You're getting close.
It's like, I know what you're saying. I can't translate it, but I know
Easy come, easy
there
go.
There we go. Yes.
I knew you were so close. Easy come, easy go. Uh-huh.
Because there's no that is what I was thinking, but there's no really way that I could think to say it other than that untranslatable, the English version of it, and I couldn't think of the English untranslatable, which is easy come, easy go. It's a good sentence,
though. I like that. What you know, it's a good one.
That sounds like, honestly, I feel like I've heard 8 of my uncles say that.
Right? No kidding. All right,
let's
need to be a new drop, Jared. What comes singing leaves whistling.
All right. Let's see if I actually remember to... I've been so lazy recently for no reason. I have more than enough time to do this pod these days.
That's the funny thing. I've seen so many memes online about, well, we've learned during these Corona times that it was not a time issue. It was, we have lots of free time now, our time at home, and we're still not productive.
That is so true.
Right.
Every now and again, I still find myself, like the day before a podcast has to come out, like why am I editing it now? I had many nights where I just watched TV all night long where I could have done this. All right, let's get to some more insults.
Let's do it.
And let's see what if we can find any commonalities, what we like.
Okay.
Some stuff I think we should adopt, maybe. That I love the idea of insulting someone real hard and it makes no sense to them.
Oh, for sure.
This next one is Vietnamese, and it's Mean Long Dai Cham Mui.
Mean Long Dai Cham Mui.
Wow, that was really good. I mean, I don't know what Vietnamese is supposed to sound like, but that sounded legit.
I had a Vietnamese classmate teach us a lesson in Vietnamese. It was really interesting to hear it. The sounds of Vietnamese are really cool.
What do you call that?
Inflection.
Or
Intonation, inflection, both of them. The rhythm. Yeah, anyways, what does it mean?
You eat pubic hair with salt dip.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. That's an insult right there for sure.
Here's the thing about...
what does that mean? You have poor taste? You're a terrible person? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
They don't actually explain. It's funny. They say, here's the thing about pubic hair. It's really awful to eat. However, when seasoned with some salt dip, I've heard it's actually quite nice.
Oh, God.
So maybe this isn't as scathing as it sounds.
Okay. Maybe not.
You eat... maybe it's just like you're gross. You're really gross.
Oh, yeah, you're disgusting. That makes sense.
You're
disgusting.
So disgusting.
You're... Okay. That's funny. What other ones do you got?
This next one is Spanish. Chupe mantequilla de mi culo. Now, obviously,
Something
you know that...
about my ass.
Yeah. Chupa.
I don't know what chupa means.
Mantequilla.
I've heard it, but I don't know what that means.
De mi culo. You've probably heard mantequilla because it's butter.
Aha, okay.
Suck butter from my ass.
So that's like kiss my ass.
Yes. You know, one of my favorite... I don't know, actually. They don't actually say what they... But let's assume so.
Yes.
But one of my favorite... one of my favorite American insults that never gets used anymore. Eat my shorts.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that one.
Made popular by The Simpsons.
Yeah, well, yes. But I was never a huge Simpsons kid. I actually really regret not being into The Simpsons as a kid because I feel like I'd love it. But I remember it from Breakfast Club. I remember.
Interesting.
Who was the burnout guy? Whatever his name was, said it to the principal or whoever the guy was. That was he's like, eat my shorts, and it's just such a funny. It's just like who is what is the I don't know. I don't know. It's just so funny to me. Well, this one's obvious, but it's afat. This is Icelandic, and it's afatotari, and it's grandfather effer.
So it's like mother effer.
Yeah, but they use grandfather instead for some reason.
Maybe that's worse. I don't know.
This is Bulgarian. Excuse me. This is Bulgarian, and I've actually seen this one before, but I never brought it up because it's obvious, because it's an insult. But I love it.
Right.
And I want to see if gronsa si kato salata. Now you know that last word.
Salad.
You are as ugly as salad.
Oh, that's a roast right there. A little burn. Salad.
Why
burn.
is salad ugly? Now, is it because wilted salad? Are they implying is it wilted? Are they implying why is salad ugly? You know, that's what I don't understand. But like, this is obviously an insult. Someone's being insulted when they say this. But it's just like, I don't know. Okay, salad. Oh, you're gonna like this next one though, and then we can move on. But I just have to give you this next one. It's Bosnian.
Okay.
Sanjam de pridem na tebe. I dream about farting on you.
Is that like fu?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Once again, they don't explain it. I don't know why I'm saying yeah. I'm just going off what I would think. Or like I dream
like the
about
confidence though, Jared.
Or like I dream about your death is kind of how I think about it. Like like drop dead kind of is kind of how I feel it. But a lot of these are just variations on fu and f off, really.
Yep,
you know?
That's true. That is true.
Now,
speaking of variations, though, Jared, there's a few things I'd like to do this episode with you. Number one, on my agenda, I want to give you some phrases, some curse words, insults, and I want you to tell me if they are real or not. These are English. I want you to tell me if they're real or not. Okay. Then, if you do think they're real, I want you to tell me like what they mean or kind of how you could use it. Okay.
Okay. Can I ask you something real quick before we get into that? Mm-hmm. I have two questions for you because obviously, Chad, I'm kind of offended you didn't mention I came with questions to interview you today. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's true.
No, I didn't. But I do have two things that I thought about as I was for my pre-podcast walk around the neighborhood. One, what is a swear word? What is it?
It's a good question. So what is a swear word? A swear word is essentially a term that is used in a derogatory, vulgar, or explicit manner. A word used to make a person or a thing, something that's derogative, makes it worse than it is. I would say a lot of times, a lot of swear words also have they are related to things in a very kind of sexual nature. There's a lot of variants on penis and vagina and plenty of different insults and swear words. It's also interesting, too, to look at where swear words come from, which we'll do later. We'll talk about the etymology. But yeah, so that's my definition, though, of a swear word for you, Jared. Is just like a...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that makes sense.
Basically, a word you wouldn't tell your boss. That's an easy way to figure out
a lot
if
of people swear at my job, but I know what you're saying. My boss doesn't, though. But actually, no, yeah, he does. I guess the reason the reason that got me thinking about this is like I guess you helped me figure out why. I was like, where do these words come from? How is it that this is a quote unquote swear word that is quote unquote bad?
We'll talk about that. Don't worry.
But I think you made a good point with the like crude, like talking about
derogatory,
body parts,
rude,
sex, death. A lot of them have to do with
bodily functions. Pooping, farting.
Now you said we're going to talk about that, so I'll bring that up later. I don't want to. I don't want to step on your toes here.
Yeah, I want to ask you some kind of curse, and other ways.
But I do have one more question for you.
Okay, sure, go for it.
When did you start hearing swear words? Like,
I think hearing swear words and realizing what they were.
yes.
Because that's the big difference. You know, I think as kids you might hear them occasionally, but
Sure,
I don't think you
yeah.
know the magnitude.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't even
magnitude.
register.
What's also fascinating about swear words is the magnitude is different in different places. You know, the C word in America is a pretty bad word. But
Yeah.
you go to Australia or England or
It's
Ireland.
like buddy.
Yeah, it's like buddy, friend, pal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so-
very true. That's
yeah.
very true. I remember the song "Hot and Her" by Nelly came out when we were maybe 2001ish, and we were maybe 7, 8, somewhere around there.
Right.
And I remember singing that song, and the first line is "Good gracious."
2001, I was 10. You would have been 9.
Sure, okay.
Good
Well, that's
gracious,
perfect.
ass
That makes-
bodacious.
Yeah, I would sing that line. I have no idea what I'm saying. Literally
That's
no
fair.
idea. And my sister would be like, "Oh,
Oh,
you said a
dude.
swear word,"
The
and I'm like,
Eminem
"I don't even know
songs that
what I
sang
said."
along with that I didn't know what I said. Oh God, yeah.
She's like, "You said something bad," and I was like, "What did I say?" I was like,
Right.
"First of all, what does he say? I don't even know what he's
Right.
saying."
What
there.
is ass bodacious? Yeah,
I
what
don't
is
know
that?
what bodacious means. I don't
Right.
know what an ass is.
Right, exactly. You were being an ass there, Jared. But yeah. But that's the other thing with swear words, Jared. Is a lot of times they're used to, they're expletives. You know, they're used to
Yeah.
to exclaim something. You know, you drop a brick on your foot. You know, you yell a swear word. You know, or you yell an alternative. But
I closed the door on my finger today, the house door, and I got like one of those little.
Did you swear?
I'm putting the middle finger up to the camera, but I got like one of those little, like, you know, like the purple under your nail.
oh, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I
Yep.
let out like one of those whisper shits, like shit.
Oh yeah. Shit. Oh shit. Yeah. All right. Well, Jared, let me ask you some of these words. I want you to tell me whether or not you think they're real, and if they are real, what they mean. So my first one for you. Let me find a good one to start us off.
While you're
today.
looking, I'm just going to mention you never answered my question. The first time
What?
I really started
Oh,
noticing,
you're right. Sorry, we got on
noticing
a
swear
tangent.
words is 6th grade.
I'd
I
say
remember-
fourth grade for me.
I remember 6th grade. I went to a new school. I had gone to the same elementary school, for, 1st through 5th, and I went to a new middle school. And I remember, like, it started registering to me that what swear words were,
Right.
And I don't know. I found it. I still. Well, we'll get to it later. I still find them foolish. I still find the whole concept foolish. But yeah, it was definitely 6th grade. Now let Chad answer his text message first, and then we'll get back to the episode.
We're good. We're good. Fourth grade, I think, is when I started to notice it.
Wow.
And believe it or not, it was on the school bus.
Yeah, that makes
There
sense.
were older kids that would swear all the time, and that's where I learned all sorts of beautiful words.
Oh,
yeah.
so you had like middle schoolers on your school bus?
Yep.
See,
Older kids, yeah.
I went to my elementary school didn't have like it was I lived kind of in the boonies so I didn't really have a good school bus
Out in
system
the
then.
sticks.
So I didn't take the school bus in elementary school. So I didn't have as much exposure to the older kids. But that school buses,
Probably a
that's
good thing.
classic. That's
Right.
a classic
Oh,
American
yeah.
place to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
to
That's where you learn all
terrible
sorts of
things.
stuff. Exactly.
Summer camp is actually another one for me.
Oh,
Summer
for
camp.
sure, for sure. Speaking of learning terrible things, Jared, let's talk about some of these curse
You really
words.
want to get to this.
I
can
do.
tell.
I do. So I'm going to tell you some that are real, some that are fake. I want you to tell me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
First one for you is fluke, like FLOOK, fluke. Not like a
all
fluke,
right.
like bad luck. You're good.
It was my water just went down the wrong pipe. It was a fluke.
So
a
like
fluke a swear- is that a swear
fluke
word?
that, Jared. Do you think that's a real term?
It's a real term, but it's not a swear word.
It's not. Good job. All right, next one for you. Bloody Nora.
Yes, I love that one. I that's British.
Yep.
I watch Top Gear, which is a car show, a very popular car show. And James May used to always say "Bloody Nora."
It's kind of like bloody hell or like darn it, damn it.
Yeah, I imagine they would say "Bloody Nora" like we would say like Jesus Christ or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably close.
Which to some
close,
people
yeah.
is essentially a swear word.
That's true. Do not
To
be
me,
using the
it's-
Lord's name in vain here, Jared. That's for sure. Next one for you, Jared. Bed swerver. Bed swerver. You bed swerver.
I mean, it sounds British.
It is British.
Okay, so it's real. That was another one of
I
the
revealed
questions.
it. Yeah, yep. Good trick. Yep, you got me.
I didn't try to trick you, but it worked out. Bed swerver. Is that some sort of like calling someone
Invented
a
by Shakespeare and it means.
What didn't he invent all of our language?
That's true. It means, Jared.
Is it like someone that sleeps around?
Yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cheater.
Swerving from bed to bed.
Cheater. Yeah, very good.
See, now we have shorter ways to call someone that.
We
don't need to. That's too long.
That's true. All right. Speaking of long, Jared, this is the last one I'll give you, and then we can talk about some other things related to swear words. This one I have difficult saying. Whether or not it's real, you can decide, Jared. Arf and arf and arf.
And
arf
this
and
is real?
arf and arf. What do you think?
Okay. I mean, that sounds like something that
Maybe I made it up.
It sounds like something that the Swedish chef would say.
Well, I told you these are English.
Right. Okay. So he's not a stuffed Swedish chef.
Not that I know of. But maybe that's how this became a word. If it's real, if real, you still have to decide.
I'm going to assume it's real, but I have no idea what that would mean or who would say that.
So it is real. Good job, Jared. It is a Victorian term for a drunkard. Someone who gets drunk all the time.
Is that just like what is imitating the like a drunken stupor or something?
Could be, yeah. Yeah. All right, my last one for you. Consarnate.
No, that's not real.
It is real, and it is a term that they use in the Wild West, which kind of means darn it, more or less, or a safer term than saying God damn it.
Okay.
So
remember, like from Hey Arnold, the grandpa would say like "conflabbit" or something like that.
Right.
What was it?
I don't remember, but I'm glad you brought that up though, Jared, because I did want to talk about that briefly on today's episode. Other words that people use as substitutes for swear words, because I think that is important as well.
Why? I feel like no. Hold on. I definitely want to talk about it. I don't think that's important at all.
Okay.
I think this whole sort of Puritan
bullshit
fear of words
isn't good.
It's so dumb. Like I remember, there was this one time. Like my mom's kind of like that too. She's mentioned that I swear too much on this podcast, and I'm like, for who? First of all,
right,
and then also, there's like I remember one time I sent her this one podcast that I thought she would really enjoy, and she's like, "Oh yeah, the information was really great, but the guy swore too much." It was actually a Joe Rogan podcast. Like it was.
That's funny.
He had on Rhonda Patrick, who's a like a health expert, a nutritionist health expert, and my mom's into that stuff. So I was like, "You would love this," and she's like, "It was great, but Joe Rogan, he swears too much." And I'm like, "Did you like the information? Like,
right?
So like, who cares?"
I could see both of my parents saying that too.
That's why.
Yeah.
Just I don't understand how how is it so hurtful on your ears? What is it that's bothering you about it? I don't understand.
I think it's just the connotations people make with the words. I think people associate a lot of swear words. At least older generations, I think they associate swear words with people who aren't educated, who
like I'm a
can't, at least that's
like
what
I'm a criminal
I
or
hear
something.
My parents say, yeah. I don't know, man. But anyways, I do want to just bring up a couple substitutes because I think they're kind of funny.
Sure,
and they're
of course.
Because,
I didn't mean to tell you not to do it. It's just
I'm going to do it anyways, Jared. Fork you. I'm going to do it anyways. That's a funny one. I like fork you. Or fork this or fork that because it came from the show The Good Place.
Holy fork and shirt balls.
Yep. Or shirt for shit. A lot of people say shoot, though. I remember being a little kid hearing my dad say shoot instead of shit. Darn for damn, obviously. Frick for fuck, which, to be honest, Jared, I think
scrubs.
fuck is one of, I think fuck is one of the most versatile words in the English language. Also fudge instead of fuck. Fudge you.
I don't take anyone seriously that says fudge. Nope. Just don't say anything if you're going to say fudge.
Right, that's true.
Fudge.
I just love though the versatility of the F word in English because you can use it in so many different ways. You can use it as a verb, as a noun, as an adjective, as an adverb. Oh man, so many different ways.
I think my favorite. Well, we'll get to favorites later. Let's talk about favorites later. Keep going. I don't know. Whenever I try to bring anything up while you're doing something, you just cannot help but get back to it. So I need to do it when you're not mid explaining something. Well, that's going through a list.
I pretty much covered all the alternatives to swear words out there that are important. I would say. So tell me your favorite, Jared.
Before we started, my favorite's probably shit. It's also very versatile, and it's also less aggressive sounding than fuck. Because the nature of how it's very.
I think
like,
the CK ending and the T is different for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think sounds do play a role too in what we perceive as bad words, because the way Americans say the C word and the way Brits and Aussies say the C word, to my ear, sounds completely different.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like actually that kind of shows the versatility of the F word, because you can
That's
hear
true.
because when we hear an American say the C word, which for some reason we're not saying,
Right.
it sounds so harsh.
Right.
And like they really hit that something about the American accent. Almost seems like it forces a harder C.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with something about the slurry nature of those Australians and drunkards over there, the British and all those people,
right?
It seems like they can get by more smoothly getting something about the aggressiveness of that C really hits the ear differently.
Yeah. That's true. And I think shit's also a funny one too, Jared, because depending on the way you say it, it also has different meanings.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like shit, that's like you're late for your bus, or you drop something, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like shit, like, yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. Or I'm gonna go take a shit.
Right.
There's also the very productive use of it.
Now, I want to give you some. Speaking of shit, Jared, before we move on, I want to give you and our listeners out there the etymology, so the history of the word shit, where it comes from, because I did mention at the beginning of the episode, we were going to talk about this. So, and I also want to talk about some interesting examples throughout history, Jared, that came from the Oxford English Dictionary. So, we can thank Old English for the word shit. It came from the word skite. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which meant dung or poop. And then skit, S-C-I-T-T-E, meant diarrhea, and skitan, to defecate, which were all rooted in the Proto-Germanic word skit, which was S-K-I-T, which evolved into Middle English. Shit, S-C-H-I-T-T-E, which meant excrement, and shitten, to defecate. I kid you not, Jared. So this is how it's changed, and according to the old Oxford English Dictionary, OED, Oxford English Dictionary, shit has been used to mean an obnoxious person since the year 1508. Fun fact for you, Jared. An obnoxious person can be a shit. Like, you know, I've heard people say like little shit, referring to like an obnoxious child.
Kids,
so there you go.
Or like a dog or something.
Yes. And now what's funny too is the Oxford English Dictionary also has some years and lists of common phrases involving the word shit. So here we go, Jared. 1922, to not give a shit. 1937.
For some reason, it's crazy to think that these things have been around for so long.
Almost 100 years, Jared. Not give a shit.
I don't give a shit in 1920 seems hilarious to me.
Right. 1937.
Like in my head, they still had British accents back then.
Right. Yeah, no American accents. It was all British. 1937, people started developing American accents, and then we had Up Shit's Creek.
Oh, yes.
1942, you have your shit list. 1960s, this one seems very fitting for the 60s, shit-faced, and proving the monotony of the late 80s, 1989, same shit, different day.
Wow, that actually surprised that one's that. No, that actually, maybe that's not surprising.
1989. So there
shit face in the
shit.
60s is hilarious too, because it's not like people were not getting drunk all the time before that. Right. But it's like, oh, now we're starting to introduce all these other terms in here.
Right, like pissed instead of shit-faced, you know, for getting drunk. All right, Jared, let's talk about the word fuck. I mentioned it's one of the most versatile words. Now, regarding etymology, believe it or not, Jared, it is actually one of the hardest words to trace. And the reason why that is it was actually banned from early written work and also dictionaries. But there are some etymologies from various sources that tend to agree that the word probably developed from various Germanic languages. As someone who has studied German extensively and is also a native English speaker, I would agree with that. The verb form came from the German word ficken, which is German for fuck, which also some could argue it also comes from the Dutch word fokken, F-O-K-K-E-N, which means to breed. Norwegians have the same word fucka, F-U-K-K-A, which means to copulate or to reproduce. Swedish also has the word fucka, F-O-C-K-A, to strike or also to copulate, and fuck, F-O-C-K, for penis.
It took me the longest time to be like, what is he even saying?
Copulate,
I was like,
reproduce, make some babies. Get it on.
First of all,
do the deed.
Yeah.
Okay, I could continue, but anyways. All right, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, fuck did not appear in any language dictionary from 1795 to 1965. Penguin Dictionary the real MVP, the gangsters of the dictionary game, made the bold move to include it in 1966, and from there on, it was added to the dictionary. So Penguin Dictionary, they were the revolutionary dictionary in the 60s.
They're like the Urban Dictionary of the 60s. There's something so... I mean, it's so funny, like this whole like sort of... It's like because they were probably using the F word just as much back then as we're using it now, but they refused to put it into a dictionary.
Yep.
There's something so weird to me about this, like,
and so
almost
funny too.
Like, all right, I'll concede this is a quote unquote swear word. This is a bad word.
Right.
Let's not use this when we're at church. Let's not use this around children. Fine, okay. But it's like now we're just denying that this even exists. Like like this is the dictionary, which is supposed to be a collection of all the words in the English language.
Right.
And like, what's the benefit of like not even like recognizing its existence?
Right. Now,
and it's
Jared,
like, who are you protecting?
Right. I got 2 dates for you regarding the word fuck. These are approximate dates because, as I mentioned, it wasn't officially added to a dictionary until the 60s. But there are 2 that I think are kind of funny, and the dates might surprise you. 1916, we have fuck up, and 1929, fuck off.
See, that's
kind of
really surprising.
Yeah, yes.
1929 fuck off kind of makes sense. That was the beginning of the
fuck off,
Great Depression, so maybe there was a lot of like bill collectors coming.
Right, could be. Yeah, that makes sense.
What was the other one?
The other one was fuck up, which was 1916.
See, that's actually really surprising to me.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, so we've been calling people fuck ups for that long,
and that one to fuck up, as in I fucked up.
Right.
Yeah,
that
it's
one's
interesting.
Me.
It is. All right, let's move on. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I gotta let you finish your lists. I know how this works.
That's right.
Keep going.
That's right.
Please keep going.
I only got 2 more on my list, Jared.
I'm in no rush. I didn't realize you were.
My last 2 for you. This next one, I would consider, I guess, a swear word. Some people might not. The word damn has gone through a long line of evolution, starting from the Latin word damnum, meaning damage, hurt, harm, loss, injury, a fine, or a penalty. And then,
I mean, that's damn damn's biblical, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for
like
sure.
That goes back to damning people to hell in the Bible and stuff like that. That one's been around probably as long as we've been around, I imagine.
Which
humans,
leads me to the verb, which was damnare, meaning to adjudge guilty, to doom, to condemn, to blame, or to reject. Then Old French picked it up as damner, a word with a very similar meaning. It then made its way to Middle English, believe it or not, Jared, as dampen, D-A-M-P-E-N. So yeah, goddamn was used in the late 14th century, according to the Oxford Dictionary. Came from the old French word gourdon, which apparently is a term of reproach applied to the English by the French. Kind of interesting.
I gotta imagine, like, how bad do you think goddamn was back in, like, the
14th century, in the 1500s?
When essentially, like, religion ran a lot of these lot of these societies.
That was the big swear word back then, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to that's nothing.
Yeah, that's hello.
It's like, all right,
that's
well,
good
that
morning.
person right there, we have to kill him now because they cursed our village and
our
they
Lord,
screwed
right. Right.
And they're a devil.
Exactly. Now, this is kind of interesting, Jared. I don't have any phrases related to damn and their dates, but the euphemism dang was first used around 1780. So
as a
way euphemism for damn, to not say
less
damn.
Aggressive damn.
Exactly.
Now, damn these days, that's nothing anymore, you know?
No.
That's not even a swear word anymore.
I think to religious people, though, it might still be a curse word.
But even without the God, I mean, I can understand how goddamn would get a little aggressive. Goddamn, by the way, is one of my favorites.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. A lot of these are good words.
It flows off. It flows so nicely.
It does. All right, Jared. Go ahead.
Oh, you have one more. Sorry,
I have one more. Yes,
you have one more.
Crap.
See, now I sound like you. I'm impatient.
You do. My last one is crap, which I think a lot of people nowadays would not consider it a swear word.
No,
it used to be though. And you may be wondering though, where does it come from? It comes from farming, Jared. It's thought to have its roots in Old Dutch. Krappen meaning to cut off, to pluck off, which kind of makes sense. And medieval Latin, krappa meaning chaff. Chaff is defined as the husks of corn or other seed separated by like husking, by pulling it apart.
Interesting.
And then Old French and Latin turned the word into crap or crapé, I don't know. Middle French saw it as crap, a word meaning siftings, which does not have any relation to separating something. Then it made its way into Middle English as crap, C-R-A-P-P-E, which referred to the grain that was trodden underfoot in a barn. And
See, this is
eventually,
interesting. Because now, let me keep going with the. Keep going with the because this word has changed completely.
it's changed a lot. That's why I wanted to bring this up. It's changed so much. And now, after the 15th century, it was used as reference to weeds growing among corn. And then later, it began. They started to use it meaning rubbish or nonsense in the late 1800s. So it's really interesting. Yeah,
It's even moved on since then because now, to me, when I think of crap, first of all, crap, I remember being in elementary school and being like, saying crap and my parents getting mad. That was the swear word back then.
Right.
But crap now is just the shit, right? It's shit.
Yeah. Well,
Crap to me is like a lower level shit. It's like
well, yes, but it means a couple different things, Jared. It means shit. It also means things that are junk. Like I have so much crap in my car.
yeah, but it's like but I got to clean all the shit out of my car.
right.
Like you would
Or
say
junk.
that too.
Or junk.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, crap. Crap can also mean your stuff. Like oh no, I forgot my crap at their house. It's interesting though.
I don't know how. I just find it very interesting that it never had anything to do with
poop.
with feces or anything
shit,
like that.
yeah.
It has to do with farming and
which
like
is pretty
crops.
funny. Yeah, which is pretty
And
funny.
it's like how did it now?
Yeah.
Like people say, I'm going to go take a crap, which means
Right.
obviously I'm going to go take a shit.
Right. Go poop.
And it's like, wow, when did we transfer over? This is not even what this word
Right.
means. At least shit.
Right.
That's what it started off
Well,
meaning.
you're getting rid of the junk from your body.
That's true.
Makes sense, I guess.
That's
You know,
true.
makes
I'd
sense.
say shit is a form of crap.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I have one last thing regarding our main segment today, Jared. I just want to ask you, and for our listeners out there on YouTube, do you know what these things are called behind me?
What they're called.
So what is behind me in my background for today is it is a letter
You can see it on
followed by
YouTube, by the
symbols.
way.
Yeah, check out our YouTube channel, Untranslatable Podcast. But yeah, it's
I obviously know what
letter.
it is. If you're reading like a cartoon or a comic book.
But do you know what the formal term for it is?
No, I feel like I've heard it before though, but I don't know what it is.
So it is called a growlix. Growlix.
Not
so
where I
that's
was
what,
going.
Yeah. So that's what we call it when a comic book or a story or something uses a curse word or a swear word. But what they do is they'll take usually the first letter. Sometimes they don't even take the first letter. And then they use symbols to replace the amount of letters. So if it was fuck has what, 4 or 5 letters, F-U-C-K,
Yeah.
4 letters. So it would be an F followed by, I don't know, like an at symbol, a hashtag sign or a pound sign, and a percentage mark or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 I love those. I used to. I'm a big when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of comic books. Not like action ones, but like Foxtrot and Calvin and Hobbes.
Ooh, love Calvin and Hobbes.
And I love the and I love trying to decipher what the swear word was that they were saying through the Growlix. Similar to when we were watching that SpongeBob clip before this episode started.
No kidding.
Now, you asked me one question before we started recording. Do I swear around my parents? The answer is...
Maybe.
As you would say, the answer is yine.
Okay.
I'm working it in slowly.
Okay.
So, for the longest time...
Sneak a shit
no.
in there or a fuck?
No.
Yeah, these are some really good fucking rolls for dinner.
Yes. Oh my god, dude, that's a genius idea. Especially if you sort of work it around like a compliment or something.
Yeah.
This is a nice fucking house or something like that.
You got some really good new shit on your arm.
It's got to be positive. I can't be like, oh fuck, or like, oh fuck you. Like I can't do that because then it's like an insult and they're gonna get mad. But if I'm complimenting them, they'll be like, oh, thanks. Okay. Like you get the
really
boat.
got a lot of crap in your house.
What the fuck? You look fucking beautiful.
I'll tell you though, with my
thanks.
family, Jared, I definitely swear on my mom. My dad does not approve. My dad is not a fan. Nope.
Because
my
I can
dad
imagine,
doesn't swear.
Okay, I guess I never really. He doesn't talk a lot when I'm around. I mean, unless we're talking like
He doesn't talk a lot in general. But yeah, it's not you. I promise.
So maybe it's harder for me to notice. But I couldn't imagine you being concerned or your mom caring about you. I mean, obviously you're not
really
dropping hard Fs all the time.
You never
and stuff,
know.
But
F this, F that.
At least in my experience, being around them, like I would never. I mean, I guess I won't swear around your dad, but I would never feel nervous like saying like a shit around your mom if it came out.
Right.
My parents, so for the longest time, I wouldn't swear around my parents as well, but I've been trying to slowly work it in. And what I mean by that is now I'm using hell and damn. I'll use those.
Damn.
But I'll
Some good red wine.
I can get in a shit. I've never really tried fuck. I can get in a shit if it's funny I didn't think about this because
shit.
because you've just added a whole new layer to it. Usually what I did to get around it is if I was making a joke, I would make the exception if I was making a joke where it's
I
like
want to hear some Jared jokes with some bad words in them.
I'm not saying they're not knock jokes, but like
knock.
but like if I know or if I'm confident that I'm gonna make them laugh, then I'll throw it in. But it's like I don't subscribe to I don't subscribe fully to this whole like issue with swear words. Honestly, I think we should destigmatize quote unquote swear words.
They don't bug me either.
Yeah. And so, sometimes maybe it would bug me. I'm not going to say it doesn't bug me. It bugs me when people don't have like a grasp of the English language.
Right.
And they use, or any language, I guess, and they use swear words as like a way to just like fill the space.
Right.
That's
like
true. People,
that's not
like I know
good
people
look.
that are talk that say like fucking instead of like
yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's as a language teacher I can tell you that is not good.
And it's just like he's like you could have just not said anything in that moment. You didn't have to do that.
And there's a time and a place to use profanity, to use swear words. And I think some people aren't always great readers of a room when to use them and when not to.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few coworkers where I'm like, "You are bold.
Right.
You are."
No kidding.
Like, it doesn't bother me,
kidding.
but I don't know how. Like, definitely wouldn't try this out.
That's true. Yeah, Jared, it's interesting, though. What people consider bad words or not, I think it really depends on how you were brought up. I also think it also has to do with what kind of what kind of entertainment you enjoy. If you watch movies and listen to music with a lot of swear words, you're probably going to become pretty desensitized to them.
One of my favorite genres of music is hip hop. Yep. They've been known to throw around a swear word or two.
Just one or two per song, But yeah, speaking of music though, Jared, I think it's time we talk about our song on the pod today, which is by a Filipino artist named Juan Carlos, and the song is called Buwan, and this one is definitely a good one. Tell us about it, Jared.
Well, first off, it gave me the vibe of like a Filipino Tom Misch kind of vibe. Like it's sort of like a, not ballad, that's not the right word, but it's like
soulful, for sure.
Yes. And it sounds and looks like it's some sort of love related song. Like he's talking to a significant other, he's dealing with a significant other, something like that. I don't know I can't translate it.
If I remember correctly, I think Buwan means month, but let me double check.
The only reason I'm saying this is because he's like singing to some sexy woman in the video.
Months.
Okay, so I don't know exactly what the song's about.
I can tell you, Jared. Let me tell you. It's been a long time since we've read song lyrics, Jared, but I think it's time we bring it back.
Sure, I'm down.
Okay, interesting. So here we go. I'm yours, you're mine, you're a beautiful sight. I'm alone right now. Hopefully someone will be beside me. This, I feel like, is an appropriate one for quarantine right now. A lot of people are going through this. Under the white light, under the yellow moon, listen to my scream under the yellow moon. I don't want to live a life of sadness because you're the one that makes me smile, and we'll be together until the very end. Come on, let's lie down. And then the chorus is under the white light. Obviously, this sounds so much better. I'm not sure if he sings in Tagalog or what language it is, but it sounds much better. Okay, the last verse. Your beauty reaches the moon. Your heartbeat can be heard from space, and it returns here with me. You're the one I love. You're the only one I will ever love. Listen to my heart and feel what I feel. But the song is called... Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when does he ever mention months or anything in the song?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. But it's clearly... so it seems like he's like... They're away from each other.
It seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is very fitting.
Yeah. But yeah, it does have a very soulful vibe. I loved the guitar in it. I think the guitar in it is just fantastic.
Fabulous.
Fabulous or fantastic. I can't decide which word to use today.
I like fantastic.
Yeah, it's very fantastic. I think the sound of the lyrics sound great. They really add a lot to the whole atmosphere of kind of longing.
Yeah, he's a good singer.
Yeah, but it's definitely a good one.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. How'd you find this song? I like to figure out how you find some of these things.
Jared, there was a bar I used to go to in Beijing a lot, and there was a Filipino group there. And I remember talking to the guitarist and talking to some other people, and I told them, I really like your guys' band. They basically were a cover band that would play requests. So you played a song, you requested a song, they'd play it. And they played everything. Everything you can imagine. Old Chinese music, chart
Sweet Caroline.
toppers, Sweet Caroline, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I know you guys
Country
love that
Roads,
song. I don't know Country Roads.
Country Roads, take me home.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah. So anyway, I was talking to this group, and they were from the Philippines, and I remember just asking them, I was like, did you guys go to music school or what? And they kind of laughed, and they said, well, a lot of people in the Philippines, honestly, are pretty talented singers. And ever since they said that, it was a group of like 5 or 6 Filipinos, and they could all sing, man. They all had pipes.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And
And-
like it's a very they're all kind of
I think it's a cultural
not
thing. They
all,
just
but-
like
yeah.
singing. Yeah, it's a cultural thing. And so ever since then, I've been really curious to find Filipino music, especially in Tagalog or some Filipino language. And I was super happy to find this one. The music, the ornamentation for it's fantastic. It's just great. The guitar solo is really good as well. As a guitar player, I always appreciate things like that. And it's a bit on the longer side for what I would consider like a pop song. Maybe not for like a ballad or a soulful R&B tune, but it's about 5.5 minutes. And it's great.
I miss long songs. I like a 4.5+ minute song.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're talking to a guy that was into metal music, then jam bands. So I'm all for that kind of thing.
Jam bands. You're looking for a 10 to 15 minute song,
Right.
Have you noticed these days that albums are now 40 minutes?
Yeah, a lot of them.
That's
the last
such a
couple of years
bummer.
it seems. Yeah,
Like that's the normal length now. At first I thought it was a fluke on some albums I got, just
Right.
certain artists. But I was like,
Right.
no, now everything is 40 minutes.
Right.
And they used to all be like an hour to an hour and 10.
yeah, it is interesting. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah. But anyways, check this one out. Buwan by Juan Carlos on our YouTube channel, Untranslatable Podcast, at the Song of the Pod playlist. Let us know. Also, Jared, I'm telling you, check out more of this guy's music. Juan Carlos, it's all fantastic. Dude has pipes, great music. It's just awesome. So check him out, Juan Carlos.
You betcha.
All right, Jared, I have slowly but surely trying to learn some Russian. We'll see if I get there in September. I hope so. I'm going to keep saying that because I hope if I send good vibes and keep saying it, it'll happen.
Positive Chad.
That's right. And my foreign word of the pod today, as I said, is Russian, and it is rigatsa. And rigatsa means to swear or to curse.
Oh, wow.
I should have had Jared read it again, but yeah, rigatsa.
That sounds super Italian. Riazza.
Well, I think that might be more like swearing, maybe. Rigat is I also saw it written as rigat. So maybe that's the correct verb form. I'm not sure.
Okay.
My Russian grammar knowledge isn't great just yet, Jared. So be patient.
I'll give you a break for now.
For now. Good. Well, let's recap today's episode, Jared. And I think, first of all, what makes a word dirty, it tends to have some type of inappropriate connotation, whether that's with certain body parts, generally below the waist.
Just for the children out there, because you like to mention that apparently kids listen to our show.
That's right. We are a family
there's
podcast.
There's nothing
Jared.
inappropriate about your body.
True. Very true. Thank you.
But I get where you're talking about the inappropriate parts.
Right. Parts that you wouldn't show out in public. Let me put it that way.
Sure. I'm okay with that.
And interestingly enough, Jared, I didn't mention this in the main segment, but I wanted to say this before we ended today, which is a lot of swear words, it looks like, at least in the English language, their etymology tends to stem back from either Old French or Old German. It seems the majority of them do stem back from Old German, which is kind of interesting.
For us?
In English, yes. I mean,
Okay, so
shit
that's
comes
just
from
because-
Old German, fuck comes from Old German, ass comes from Old English and Old German. So yeah.
Which I would say kind of makes sense, though, because our language is heavily based on both of those languages.
Yes, but we have a lot of French and Latin-based stuff that doesn't have swear words. Like, it's funny, like, a lot of the Latin words are just formal words, And then it seems like a lot of the Germanic-rooted words are swear words. Not all, but a lot of them. It's kind of interesting. Because, I mean, there are words in Latin to shit, like defecate, but defecate isn't a swear word, but shit is a swear word, right?
Right.
But it's the same thing.
Right.
So that's why it's kind of funny. It's interesting.
okay.
It's interesting. I wanted to bring that up before we ended today's episode.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, and I think it's also very important regarding swear words to know when to use them, when not to use them. I would say if you're in any formal situation, just don't use swear words. Especially don't use swear words in a foreign language if you're not sure how to use them. Unless you're with your friends or something in a relaxed environment, then go for it. Swear away. As we say in English, curse like a sailor, and enjoy it, I guess. Fuck it. That's right. We also talked about the etymology of swear words today, and some dates when swear words became popular or phrases, which I thought was interesting. Who knows what we'll hear within the next 20 to 50 to 100 years, how the language will change regarding swear words. It will be pretty interesting. So stay tuned for that. So do you have anything else to add about our swear word, our dirty words episode today, Jared?
No, I find it interesting to hear how long these things have been around. You know, I guess it doesn't surprise me that the word fuck has been around for a long time, but something about hearing
and imagining people back then saying it too.
Right. So imagining someone in 1929 saying, "Oh, fuck off." This is hilarious to me for some reason.
Oh, for sure.
But maybe it's because it's like, I'm imagining my grandma doing that, who obviously, well, not obviously, but none of my grandparents swear. So the idea of them being like that back in the day, it just seems like unreal to me. But I think it's also nice to humanize old people. And like, oh no, they weren't also not always.
They weren't all saints.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. That is for sure. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you got any questions on swear words, how to use them, or their etymology, let us know at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Or check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. And we are happy to help you using inappropriate words appropriately. So let us know. Let us know what you thought about today's episode on iTunes or Stitcher via 5-star reviews. And also give us some feedback on how we can make this podcast better for you. So, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania.